can notify them, can definitely be notifiable.
Sorry, was it?
Right, we're live, guys.
Okay, thank you for joining us for this meeting
Well,
of
I'm
the
sorry, I mean,
Estates Committee.
it's, oh, it's not.
It's all good, it's all good.
fine.
We're live and ready to go.
Painkillers for you.
First item of the agenda, apologies for absence. We have apologies from Councillor Shearer and Councillor Gray.
Okay,
Are we happy to accept those?
we are. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Are you happy to accept apologies?
yes, I see, yes.
Good.
Interesting.
Declarations of interest. Anybody got anything to disclose at this point?
I work at Outdoor School, but I will say that just in case I
Yeah.
thought about something.
I don't
Have
know.
you got an agenda there?
I can get you a spare one.
I'm just looking at my, oh, shit, I just didn't pick everything up with rushing that.
Right. Walking my dinner down. So,
Your full evening meeting.
exactly. Exactly. Representation from interested parties? No.
No.
Minutes from the previous meeting, which I do not have.
No.
Oh dear.
They're probably over there.
Probably over there.
Okay.
No?
No, I bet the owls followed us and walked through.
No,
Minutes of the last meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good one.
Thank you.
No, it's all here, isn't it? Money.
It's on online.
Money.
Yeah.
No.
How did you sign them during COVID?
I had to post them to David,
Why?
or whoever. I'll take a copy and shoot it through the letterbox.
An arm's length
Yeah.
Yeah.
hole.
May Estates.
It's probably having 2 meetings back to back.
Yeah, and the bank holiday threw me, and then obviously today, because I was the only one in the office, I've not done my little routine that I usually do. Right, let me print this off.
Need a clipboard.
Pardon?
Clipboard.
I know.
Clipboard.
Well, I've got a to-do list, but obviously forgot this one. Right.
So,
Yes, sir.
You sound like a nursery teacher there. Wash your hands. Drink milk. So a few minutes lunchtime.
and Norway, yeah, with it. Kept in solitary.
So did you approve those, sorry?
Not yet.
All right, okay.
The minutes have been circulated. Does anybody like to propose them? Thank you. I'll second them. All those in favour?
Thank you.
It's worth the wait.
Yeah. Next item is to receive the reports that we usually get each month. And then we'll go on to Betton House. So.
Oh. I cycled in the wrong way. I came in that way. So I haven't seen the notice board yet.
Yeah, I've seen it because I voted, obviously. And then see everybody voted.
I voted on post. No, I feel good.
Right, Fletton House. There isn't anything for consideration this month. But obviously we have got signs,
Oh, yeah,
and they look good.
signs are excellent. Do they go up one at a time?
What's that?
The signs by the police station.
Well,
And
they're
now say town council offices, Flatton House.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
But
Yeah.
the one going northbound appeared first, then the southbound one appeared a few days later.
I can't
I
see
never
it.
noticed others
I
right
didn't
next to each other.
You can see it.
I don't think you can see it from there, can you?
Oh, no.
The buildings in the road.
Cool.
I did not realise, and I've done looked.
Yeah, that's what I look at that.
Walked past it 4 times today and not noticed it.
Yeah.
Concentrating
cool.
on the traffic.
Okay, workshop, I think, is next. Things are ongoing, yes. Okay, I'll read it, so.
Sorry,
That's all right, no, that's fine. Ongoing until move finalised, staff request permission to sell get rid of items, which I think we talked about before.
yeah,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did the big kitchen item unit downstairs, did that go to the island?
well, but it ended up in a skip, unfortunately.
Did you want
Nobody did, we didn't get any calls about it at all. So,
it? Gas maintenance certificate done.
Yeah.
That's good. Redecoration, bit of maintenance to do. New carpet tiles in office. Maintenance fit. Phone line. Cancel along with all of the utilities. So, future ongoing maintenance to decide which gate configuration options best suit the area and their needs. These two ordered once decisions finalised.
so the, containers are being made at the moment and they think they'll be ready for delivery mid-May, so we're hoping to hear something by next week.
Isn't that
Sort of
right?
BTA,
Very good.
Yeah.
Do we get a big photo of that?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very exciting. Last time I had one delivered we took to Kenya, it was very exciting. Because they've got one of those little, so
I tell you who'd be pleased with that. Roy would be.
Yeah.
It's such a sensible thing to have happened,
Mm.
and it's all been kind of happenstance, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he
yeah.
would be pleased because there's his containers and,
Yeah.
and a better use of the space.
Well, exactly, we've been talking about it for quite a long time, haven't we? But until the preschool disappeared, we didn't really have the.
We couldn't do that. We had to think about the rugby club instead. Yeah, super.
Good. Okay, so there's not anything else there really. So the hub. Discuss recent efforts. This is Barry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Discuss and agree amendments to the contract for Albury School of Ballet pertaining to the usage area and other areas, including the hub to be signed annually by a ballet teacher. So.
these look like a good start
Yeah.
on broad terms.
Emma had gone down just basically to say to Lisa we needed a meeting, but then obviously gone through basically our concerns, and before we've even actually scheduled a official meeting, she came up with this email of the steps that she'd taken to remind her ballet parents of the do's and don'ts of using that area. So we're quite happy with that, and we think with reinforcement of signs where we reiterate what's allowable, dotted all the way around the hub, and also with them understanding that if there's a function in the hub, they possibly will be excluded from using it on those days because it's being hired by somebody else for a function. So, and they seem happy with that. So I think we're still going to tweak some of the form to suit that and include that for her, and then obviously make sure that each year she signs a new contract, because I think since I've been here, I don't think I've ever seen anybody annually renew it kind of thing.
It's just a good idea to refresh and remind everyone involved.
which we really need to be doing for all the repeat bookings, really. I'll have to find out from Rebecca which ones we don't do it to.
Yeah, I'm guessing there are, sorry, no, go on.
And there are two bits to this in the sense that we could have said all along that people renting the studio were not effectively renting the rest of the
Yeah.
hub.
Yeah.
We've been very generous, if
We
you
have,
like,
yeah.
in always letting them have the rest of the space.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's a very beautiful studio up at Sports Hall with the sprung floor. There's also one, I don't know if you know, there's an equally beautiful one at Prince William.
Is there?
Yeah, with a sprung floor and mirrors and everything.
It's also
We don't
nice.
want it to go off
No,
somewhere
and
else.
it's nice for us as well, when you walk in now for a meeting, to have people in that.
In the
Yes.
hub, yeah.
So it's sort of getting that symbiosis to
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the right level. isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm guessing we have regular, in the same way that the ballet, is that, who else uses that room on a weekly sort of basis?
You have yoga groups and Pilates groups, which are all newer arrivals than Lisa. And then obviously your repeat bookings for the Glackthorne room and like your bridge and
Yeah.
things like that. So, I think if we're gonna do it annually for our repeat bookers, for Lisa, we've got to do it for all of them.
Yeah,
We can't just
absolutely.
single them
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So, but I'm not sure, because I don't deal with bookies anymore, I'm not sure who does what and when they renew or whatever, so.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we have to standardise it and say this is what we do. I know you're with us for life, as it were, but we need to do a contract every
Yeah.
year, so we know where we stand.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's the whole, QBH. There's not anything for consideration this month, but
No, I've got to get somebody in to do some exploratory work under the floor near one of the emergency exits, because it's really bouncy, so I think some of the joists have gone underneath, and I'm just hoping it's not something that's going to be repeated throughout the floor, because that's going to be quite costly. But of course, that's all going to come into the discussion that we're having with the Culture Club and everything about what we're between us going to do to make improvements in QBH.
Has that moved further forward, or is that still?
Emma's got the list of the bits that they feel they can do, and obviously she's answered the bits that we've already booked, like the external painting. And I think she's also notified of some of the bits that we're sorting out, like the curtain cords. I've not done anything about that, because obviously I've got advice to say that one, even if they could be restrung, which is probably unlikely, it's going to be quite costly. So then we start thinking, well, maybe we should rethink it and have blinds, blackout blinds instead, something that's a bit more functional, a bit more easy to.
yeah, I know Max is keen on that.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's just making a list of things and working out how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Oh, just on the cleaning contract, we have complained again that the cleaners don't seem to be able to get their head around the fact that there's a schedule and they have to come in after there's been an event in readiness for the next event. So there's been lots of times where I think Max has complained about it, that he's been in and it's not been cleaned from whatever happened before. So the cleaning contractors have said they are looking for new cleaners for that particular job. They said they've worked with them extensively and something just doesn't seem to be clicking with what they're supposed to do. So, yeah, watch this space. Hopefully we'll have someone that can fulfill our needs a little bit better.
Great. Right, courthouse. Now, last time I remember we decided not to renew
Yeah.
the lease of.
Annex office for Anglia Cloud. I got an email from him today. Well, funnily enough, driving back from Wales at the weekend, as I drove past the courthouse, I looked up because I suddenly dawned on me yesterday was the day they were due to be out, and I noticed that the vents had gone from the window because they put vents in as cooling aid, and the glass was back in, and he sent me pictures of how they'd left it. he's said that because of the bank holiday, they didn't have a chance to clean the carpet and fill the holes, but there's relatively little damage in it. But he's offered that we keep the deposit so that any cost that we have in putting it right is covered. So I spoke to Emma about that today, and when we looked at the pictures, we said that'll amply cover what Nobby needs to do, easily cover it. So we're happy with that. I'm just quite relieved that they're out, because it was worrying me what they were doing in there. So I'm quite relieved it's done.
How soon do we reckon we can turn it around and?
Really quickly, and I've got a couple of people that have expressed interest in the past.
Brilliant.
So, and then office 3 is the gentleman that was very poorly before Christmas, and I've been trying to get hold of him, but obviously with his health not being very good, I've not tried to badger him too much, but I sent him a couple of emails saying, call me when you can. And he hasn't, so tomorrow I'll set aside an hour or so to give him a call and just say, look, how are we moving this forward? Because he's already said that he can't continue the business, so we just need now to work out when and how he's going to be moving his stuff out.
Cool.
And then we've got that office as well, so there's those two, and then there's still office 2A, but that's still, well, it's drying out at the moment, and we've just got to treat it with some injection, silicone or whatever you call it, injection in the walls, and then get it redecorated, and then that one will be ready as well. So we'll have three that we can start marketing soon.
Brilliant.
That's good.
Have we finished with the courthouse?
Let's go on. One
I'm
question.
thinking about the lighting situation.
Okay.
People at the museum.
Oh, they've already approached us actually, they've got a quote
Oh,
called,
have they? Yeah, fine.
from
Well,
an
I just-
electrician.
No, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
Emma's in correspondence with them, and she said, well, actually, that's our responsibility, because they suggested they were getting fed up with people leaving the lights on all the time. So she said they've had a quote for automatic lights that go off after a period of time. So I think Emma's taken that one on board. I mean, I think they said they were prepared to do it and pay for it. So Emma said she'll probably take it to full council to see if possibly a joint
Sounds good.
project or whatever.
I thought there was another matter about some of the lighting in there being a bit sort of past its sell-by date, and they'd prefer some brighter lights.
That might have been included in the email to Emma, I'm not sure, yeah, I'm not
Okay,
sure,
maybe I was thinking of it.
yeah.
There's quite a few external decorations approved and scheduled spring and summer.
Yeah,
As we sort of move from spring to summer, have we got a date for it?
we haven't, but I can chase him. He said basically that was his spring and summer catered for doing our 3 premises, so I assume it's gonna start soon.
Yeah, end of May, end of spring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, what's his name? Graham,
Great.
Chase. For a date. I think he was going to start, I think he spoke to Emma actually and said he was going to start the QVH, start with the QVH and then do the others after, but I'll check with Emma whether I don't think he gave a date, but I'll check date to start, okay.
Okay, that's good. Car parks. To approve final draft of Drillpool Benefit Road Car Park, NPC T&Cs signage, the costs of overlay signs, and decide on ATM presentation and public information campaign strategy.
Have we got the signs, are they in there?
Yeah.
If we get one, let's see it.
So that's the sign,
Okay, wow.
and there's got to be a certain number of these, isn't there? 1 per 4 spaces or something
Yeah,
like
we've
that?
got 11, they've sent us 11, so I assume they've
That's
worked
the
it out,
right number.
yeah.
The question is this: the valid permit must be clearly displayed in windscreen at all times. I think I finished that email off them. And one of the questions that we had was, can we put our sign sort of over that?
Okay.
We've gone back and checked with them. They say because of the way that they're policed by the IPC, whoever the IPC are, the people that control parking, they've got to have that wording.
Land.
Right,
So what they've said is they're fine for us to have a thing next to it, which
Okay.
we've suggested at the moment should have, vehicles are only permitted to be parked in marked bays. We use the word permitted because it says valid permit.
Right,
Vehicles are permitted to be parked, to park for up to a week. Vehicles are not permitted to be parked here and advertised for sale. And the only thing that I thought we might add is something about OTC are reviewing, put the word in here somewhere, something about residence permits. Just put the word, so the word permits there. The very worst case scenario is if someone does park there for 3 weeks, we take a photo of it, send them the photo, they then say, you're going to get a fine. Then IPC say to them, that wording doesn't match. The very worst thing at that point is nothing happens. And then in which case the trial will have been a bit of a failure. But hopefully by that time it will have dissuaded some people to park legally. I suppose the only question is, we're going to get questions about the permit. So whether we just need to put that on our sign saying, at the moment, residence permits are under review.
not yet,
But
not yet available.
And if that sign sits next to this for
As
the
long as
next
they
2
support
years,
each other, yeah.
that's fine.
yeah,
I think at the end of the day,
looks nice and official.
that's what we thought, if it looks like an official sign,
Yeah.
then it will hopefully just preempt anybody taking the mickey and staying too long. Like, essentially, we don't want to really issue tickets and things like that, we
No.
don't want to start doing that, so even if it just achieves that people that live around park, but make sure they move it regularly, and you don't get people advertising their cars for sale for weeks at a time. If it stops that, that's achieved the objective, really.
There will be people like, I've forgotten the gentleman's name. and his
Yeah, that
name.
came here, yeah.
Yeah, because I see them pretty much every day.
Yeah,
They are going to come to me
yeah,
when I have my coffee
yeah.
and say, is this for real, or, you know?
Well, he'll probably
What can I
email
say
me,
to you?
he'll probably email me, because he's got my email address, and
Yeah,
he has
they will talk to me as well.
Yeah,
Well,
He
that's
does
what
every time.
that's what the messaging in here is, which we improved a couple of months ago, was that, so we put this letter, or a letter like this,
Oh,
through the doors before
Yeah.
we put the signs up.
yeah.
And this is what we're going to announce at the town meeting, saying basically, this is what it says, but, we hope all residents, we hope the 1 week permission will suffice, and there's no limitation on how often the 1 week cycle can be utilised. If the car is reported, blah, 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 blah. Should you have any concerns regarding the trial or review in 12 months and would like to inform us, please do so by contact. So we'll be explaining, and that's the text we can put into the town meeting as well.
And are we putting, where are we putting them, these then? All the car parks?
Just Benfield Road car.
I see, not the other one that sort of.
And-
Not at the minute.
And if it's
Not
great
the
and we
one
love
with
it, we could expand.
Yeah.
But this is the only one that we own, and because we own it, it's private land, therefore we can't use anyone else to police it.
I just thought with the other long stays, it might deter some of the people from the PGR parking in it, that's all, it would be marvellous.
I suppose we can think about that, if this is successful, we can start thinking about that for later,
Yeah.
but it is more tricky because it's not our car park. So,
It is our car park.
We don't own it.
Joan Strong's isn't,
Yeah.
we rent it,
Oh, we rent the land, lease the land.
yeah.
Yeah, it still makes our car.
Mm.
I think this system is designed for private landholders.
Right.
I'm sure there's a way around it.
Yeah, it probably
But
is.
we'd have to check it with them again.
No, I think you'll find this.
I'm sure it is, but they don't see registration.
I mean, we look after it.
So what we've said for the sort of, I suppose, for the town meeting is, after recent issues with car parking long-term in the Benfield Road car park, OTC will start trialling a system we hope will help give us the tools we need to manage such issues more effectively. In the next few weeks, notices will appear in the car park that are authorised parking, authorised vehicles. For up to 1 week, nearly all residents and other users, we hope, of familial residents. We hope the 1 week permission will suffice and there's no limitation, blah, blah, blah. Should the car be reported, we'll be able to place a warning notice on the vehicle and 1 week later, and only then, proceed to order our parking partner to issue a parking fine direct to the owner. It's not a precursor to charging for parking or any draconian revenue raising. We simply see this as a light touch way of enforcing a fair use of limited parking spaces at our disposal.
Yeah.
Should you have any concerns about blah, 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 blah. And that hopefully should use
I think
concerns.
that's fair as well, isn't it?
It makes us look like we're taking action, but not
Heavy
do
handed.
the wrong thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only thing we need to tweak, is come up with some wording for that. But we can announce this on the end of the month and put the notices out.
Yeah.
And put these up in July.
Yeah.
August. Cool.
Yeah, excellent.
Good. Okay, that's car parking. Public toilets, don't think there's anything. Oh, anything with the title? I know you said, I remember seeing an email you said.
Yeah, no, I've still not made any progress on that, and I need to.
We can make our own tile out of clay.
Well, I mean, lead will do it now, just inserting some lead underneath it. But yeah, we've still got to take one from lower down and put it up and see if we can see the number. There should be some sort of number on it. That is due to be done this month. I need to chase that as well. Tile,
Is that us moving it, or is that someone else?
what do you mean?
Is that maintenance, non-income doing moving it?
It might be, I'll check with him, but because it's such an awkward shape,
Yeah.
it's quite difficult to get a ladder up there, so, I'll have a word with him. Tile chains, okay.
Do
Oh,
that
the
really-
hand dryer's been
That's
installed.
the one, yeah,
Yeah.
that's installed. And is it lovely and shiny? And
It is, yeah, the only thing I was a bit annoyed about is because the other one was a rust bucket, some rust has leaked out on the white tile, so you've got this nice shiny new
Oh, right.
sparkly thing, and then this horrible brown stain coming out the bottom, so I need to see if I can find, because I think there is something on the market that removes rust. Yeah, because it spoils it a bit, for me, I just look at the rust stain, I don't look at the new thing, so, but yeah, it works really well, it gave me a demonstration, it's very efficient, so that's good.
Okay. Good stuff. Other properties and open spaces. This one, quote for new wide line markings.
This one, Jane, you've got there.
Sorry.
The
Consider
creative
request.
level.
Oh, yes. Consider requesting creative development to use the rec for parking for parking lot on July 13th. Now, we've done this before. Yeah, previous. Any thoughts or objections, I guess?
I suppose my only thought is we've got a vintage festival in May, but they're now saying on their website they're not using it
Yeah.
because it's wet. Is that right?
Where
Or is that
we
just-
always give the same rider to our approval to it, that if it is wet, then
Is that
it's out of bounds, yeah. So we'd already told them, because we weren't sure how long the resurfacing of the basketball court and how long the grass growing would take, so we'd already said to them, ideally, we don't want you using it. But then they obviously panicked, because they were like, well, we said, well, then we found out that the works would be meters, the grassy area is not going to be available, but the basketball court would be done. So possibly, but we still gave it the same rider that if it's wet, if it's too wet, you can't. So we do the same with everybody. So part of the walk, we've done it.
That's the thing, because there's May 18th food festival in June,
Yeah,
part of the war, 3
yeah,
potentially heavy uses,
yeah.
but it's a nice thing, I suppose.
If it's nice and dry, it's not a problem because the ground goes really hard, doesn't it? But if it's, you know, any kind of moisture on it, then I think we'll just have to say no, which isn't great, but
How are Anglian Water getting on with things? Do you know?
it's done.
It's done.
They've done the basketball court, they finished it last week, or the week
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
And a tiny job that's very striking. You can see it.
yeah, you can see the
Works
sections
on
they've
that.
done, yeah. But it looks brilliant. It's really good, yeah. And it's slightly wider, and they've put curbstones down, so you won't get the bleeding like before. The tarmac was starting to bleed, and then the grass was growing into it as well. So it's very deep. And I think they've widened it by about a metre.
That they made the entrance better.
Yeah, the entrance is much better. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah, it looks great. So then, and then if you approve the line painting tonight, I had an email tonight from somebody saying, looks really good, but can you make sure Anglia Water put the white lines back down again? So I just emailed them back and said we're hopefully approving it tonight and get it done as soon as possible, so.
Okay. So do we need to propose the,
No, in fact, I'll just put you've approved on the basis of as long as it's not wet, they
yeah,
can use it.
they pay a fee, don't they? Is that right?
Pardon?
They pay a fee.
We talked about it last year, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think they do they? Because it's an event that we all benefit
Benefits
from
the
kind of
town,
thing, I think
right,
we've done. Well, because, yeah, that's right, because we did one year get a bit annoyed with Party of the Walk, because we gave it them for free and then realised they were charging £5 for parking.
So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose we're saying it's free parking.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's a good point.
So the cost for the basketball court, I will need a proposal and a second for that one there.
Before we do,
Yeah.
I had a mad idea, but I haven't got much further with it. My idea was, if we're going to be using it 4 or 5 times a year for parking or driving over, etc., when we're having the lines painted, is there any merit in having by the entrance area, getting some lines painted there to show two-way traffic or something? I've looked for multi-purpose basketball court painting examples, and I haven't found any.
No, it's just a
But I'm just wondering if while they're in there with paintbrush, do we want to do something on a gate or I don't know, but that's as far as I go.
I suppose on the pathway, that bit that they've done that we didn't have before, because you've got the basketball court, haven't you, like that, and the path that sort of goes. I suppose you could have arrows pointing that say,
I don't mean you are, I mean my son, not my sons, my grandchildren. Is there a necessity to have signs saying?
No, the gate's normally locked. We just think when there are, if there are people
Well, you mean
parking.
if it's just from the car park? Yeah.
Well, there's now a big, massive wide open driveway.
But that might say to people that this is a car park.
It was just an idea thinking if we're painting.
Didn't I assume they have a steward, or stewards rather?
yes, they do,
Who are saying,
they're supposed to, yeah.
The only other thing is, because we've now got the big fence at the back, do we want like an arrow pointing, go over this way? I don't know. As I say, I haven't come up with a solution. It was just an idea.
Yeah.
And are we just going to have painting at the end near the basketball?
Yeah, because it's not a full-size court. I did hope that they may have done more that way to make it a full size, and then we could have the whole thing painted. Although that would still be pointless because you haven't got a goal at the other end, have you?
So what have they opted to pay for? No, what are they painting? Sorry, what the quote we've got is to paint what?
to do the same as before, so it's basically from the midpoint up to the goal.
Right.
And paint that.
Right.
That's what it was last time, so we just said to her, can you do the same?
The only other thing is by accident, I found the quote we had last time had it done, which was 400.
Oh, right, okay.
Now it's 600. And their paint's probably.
how long ago was it done?
21. The quote was 21. So
Right.
probably 21, so it's probably 22. And their paint's gone up, but it's gone up.
Yeah, that's good, but.
I thought we might get an extra, an arrow in for free or something.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, June 21 was the quote.
So it's gone from 400 to 600.
The problem is, I think, if we don't say yes now,
Yeah.
then we've got,
Well, it's only £70 a year as well that it's gone up.
No, true. Just
when's the next safety meeting?
But at the beginning of next month.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite happy to approve that we approve up to 600, but I thought it was worth just going back and saying,
Yeah, okay.
can you knock 50 quid off?
Yeah, okay.
Just because I'm stingy. Or as someone on the phone told me recently, I'm not stingy, I'm savvy.
Savvy.
Savvy. I don't work.
Thrifty.
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 I just thought it's a lot.
Yeah,
penny half.
It is a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy to propose we,
up to 600.
put up to 600, in the hope that they say, oh yes, since we're very good customers of theirs, I'll knock it down to 550 or something.
Yeah, I'll second that,
You vote for it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. So that's that. So, no.
Well, this is me again.
Select supplier, approved cost for recycled plastic replacement gates and post for summer. Yes.
This is much more complicated than I thought it was.
Me too.
So we were down a few weeks ago and found the post was knackered.
Yeah.
And the gate is off, because the post is broken. Yeah, no post. So I thought, since it's down there, get a bit of recycled plastic, stick it in the ground, which I know I've done myself, and then put a normal metal gate on it. But
Oh,
we found in
metal.
researching that they've obviously tried to put recycled plastic gates and such things in the past, they weigh a ton.
Yeah.
And now it's like all the people that used to make big square bits of gates type plastic in London don't make them anymore.
Well, you have to have specially made steel reinforcement. So, although the ones that were off the peg, they're tubed, so the ones I was getting quotes with a great big one gate, whereas the one quote that is in the pack makes sense, it's 2 gates, so it's half the weight, isn't it, it's supported. So, it just depends what you want, really.
So it was the assumption that a big piece of plastic smashed in the ground would last longer and be the same price as with the timber, but now it looks like it's either we go for a sort of, I mean, how much normal gate? 600, 700? something like
Yeah,
that?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Or we go for a more expensive one, but in 30 years' time, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
Because it won't have rotted.
Yeah.
Val, any thoughts?
Has there been time to drive through it or something like that?
No, the post was on its way out last year, you know, we already had
So
one,
it's just natural.
yeah, it's just left. Because I think last year we had the other post replaced,
That's right.
but
Yeah.
the chap that came and did it said this one is okay for a bit
Yeah.
longer, but now it's gone.
I mean, how much width do we need?
It's over 3 metres.
It's so he,
Why?
so he can back the cattle wagon.
So there is a need.
Yeah,
There's need for an
Yeah,
agricultural
just
shed.
it.
yeah.
And I think having the cows there is worth it.
Mm.
So the only question I've written down is the next thing we've talked about this year's cattle grazing. Do we know what the lead time on that gate is?
No, I haven't checked. Because I think is that the next item on here?
Yeah.
About the fouling, because I need to speak to him, see if he's happy. He might say he'll do a walk of the field and he's happy, or he might just say he's not going to bring any cows that are in calf. But I think he needs to make a decision on what he wants to do this year with his cattle. Because it'd be awful if he just brought them and then something happened to one of them. And I know I've seen people, even when there was a gate, I've seen people open the gate and just let their dogs run in there,
Yeah.
and they just stood at the gate waiting. So I know that the fact that there's no gate there and there's not been a gate there for a couple of months, I guarantee it won't be in a very good state, that thing.
What's, excuse the layman question, but what's the potential threat of dog fouling? What does-
If a cow that's in calf eats it, it can abort the
Right.
cow, the fetus, yeah.
Right. Okay.
But the first year he brought the group, there were some pregnant girls in there. I don't think there was last year. So, I mean, he can make that call, he can say it's fine, I'll just, my pregnant ones, I'll keep them on the other field or whatever, but we've obviously got to give him the option.
Just on that basis, my other concern with the big recycled plastic gate, which is cool, is the lead time involved. It's if it takes 2 months for it to arrive. It's
gonna be too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering whether we could, what everyone else thinks tonight, approve a budget to get the gate fixed.
Yeah.
See if there's, the quickest one is just get a normal metal gate
Yeah,
and wooden post for the next 10 years. Get that done and dusted, and at the same time see if the farmer's happy to put his cows in this year.
Yeah.
And if he is, go with that, because the benefits of having the cows in and saving money on the grass being cut outweighs.
Yeah, to be fair as well, I think that's a good way to go, but to be fair, if I speak to him, he might say, get me some Harris fencing,
Job done.
I'll secure it. If he's happy with that and he feels his cows are secure, he might say that's fine. And then we can plan it, we don't have to rush, but yeah, if you authorise up to a certain budget, I carry on looking around, in the meantime, have a word with him and see what he feels. He might come up with a perfect solution.
Is it gonna, would it cost, I guess it wouldn't cost more than £2,000. That's how they do it.
The gate's
It's
1600,
1,600, aren't they, yeah?
and that's always needs to be posted, I suppose.
I think that, no, when I spoke to old Nobby, he said he could do that.
Yeah.
It's just a case of digging up.
I could go for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're here as a committee, we can do things.
Yeah, it's great, and also it will last. I mean, the decision to go recycled plastic on
Awful, it's brilliant, yeah.
is proving, because in 10 years' time it will be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the payback.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm happy to propose that we allocate £1,600 or so for the gate, plus delivery.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, all in favour?
brilliant.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Thanks, credentials.
So that's both things ticked off.
So the next one, we're happy to go on the farmer's
Yeah,
recommendation, but
yeah.
we'd love him to do something. I'll go around and tick all the dog bills if I have to.
Yeah, we want the cows there, don't we?
That's what video now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edit that bit.
What's next? Oh, right, yeah, to receive minutes from the FAA meeting. Held on 29th of April and agreed to have Flettonfield as a separate standing item on all future states agendas. Yeah, the meeting was really good, I think. As you said earlier, and you've seen the minutes, and I looked at it, and I think, like I said, we've got a good foundation there. Yeah, and people are happy on those things today.
And we said we just put an item on like a normal standing
Yeah.
order item, and if there's nothing to report on month, we just put NTR like we normally do. So I'll do that from next month.
Brilliant, and thanks for making it happen. That's good, it's positive.
Next, consider requesting information from Berries regarding the Amble River Meadows Grocers Company for Mr. Footpath, its closure, future management and some next steps.
Yeah, like I said, there's quite a lot to pick out of it, and again, I'm not sure whether it's another Flettonfield Association scenario where we have to get a group of people working along with Berries to decide how much involvement OTC want, because I'm assuming you will want some involvement.
Yeah. My concern initially was, I've quoted it here, the OTC would support with contributions to capital works, signage and warden control. Is that, can we agree? And there's no more detail about what they're after.
No.
But the point they then make, the area links to Snipe Meadow, there's synergy with your public access, social, environmental policies. Having that part that starts at Boardwalk and goes all the way around the river as a really good bit of public access is great. I was sort of imagining they're going to be talking about a bit of fencing area, stop dogs getting into the fields, and bridge works, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, but that can be quite pricey.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be really clear what we're after. It struck me that if we could get Berries, Adam, and someone from the Wildlife Trust, who is sort of now helping manage both areas together, and us, and maybe Sarah, I think her name's Puritan, but I might have written that down. When I was at my care meeting a couple of weeks ago, they said they have a rights of way officer. And it might be nice to get her in, just to get some advice over the bigger picture of rights of way and that whole access area. my suggestion would we go back and we say, sounds interesting, let's chat and get Wildlife Trust involved and Sarah, whatever she's called.
Yeah.
I might be a bit sort of paranoid, but I too felt unsettled when I read it, because previous history has proven that sometimes Sandal School particularly,
It's not our school, it's a
Sometimes.
grocer's company.
it's a gross, yes.
Yeah, so it's got nothing to do with the school.
Historically, in people's minds, it's all been the Sandal School. But the shutting off of the gate that comes up and back here is a good example. I mean, it's been used for centuries by Arnold people, and suddenly they find they're not allowed to walk.
Yeah, but two separate issues. So
Yeah,
that's
I know they
school,
are,
so,
but I'm saying, I'm talking about what's in people's minds and how they'll see it. And is it the grocers sort of getting a bit ownershipy again? I mean, there was a time when they put, I think before your time, they put forbade entry on any of the properties around. You could walk across the chapel field, for instance. You know, it was all shut off. There's quite a lot of that in people's minds, and I'm talking as somebody who'll sit there having my coffee and be people coming to talk to me saying what's all this about, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understood. The only thing which I can make it work.
I can't see what benefit it would be to us. But it might.
It connects our land with
Exactly.
the rest of town,
Yeah.
which is really good. The issue is the weird email I remember from COVID times, when I remember walking down the boardwalk just after it got fitted and seeing that the map there says it's a permissive footpath from the end of our boardwalk onwards,
That's right, yeah.
and it runs out in 2020.
Right.
So, and there's the email chain from Emma through the Rights of Way officer or something at the time, just pointing out that actually there's a definite agreement over that bit of land which has clearly come to an end,
Right.
and potentially, I suppose the process could have made this move 2 or 3 years ago. But it's probably in our interest and in the town's interest that we talk to them.
Yeah, sure,
Find out what's on
absolutely.
their,
It's a really more,
yeah, find out what's on their mind and
absolutely.
what they want, because if it ends up being a much nicer thing for everyone, well, that's what,
Yeah, absolutely.
but we don't want to end up paying a massive bill to refence their entire field.
Okay, so do you want to invite them to an estates meeting?
I suspect it would be better to meet them on site if we can.
Okay,
I'm happy to, I know, talk to children, so.
yeah, okay.
I'm happy to meet them and have a chat with others, but if we can get the Wildlife Trust, because certainly last time we met the Wildlife Trust down there.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That was Helen, Dara, and Bruce.
She was talking to them about doing land management on their
Yeah.
side, when they were doing their, what are they called, the digs or whatever.
Yeah, scrapes.
Scrapes, and how we weren't going to have any scrapes because they're all sort of land, but that idea of managing it in totality makes sense, but it's still be a 2-year process. Not just we say, have a blank
I
check.
think it's Bruce Gardner, the chap that took over from Helen, isn't it? So,
So if we could get Adam and him and us down there,
okay.
have a chat, maybe with Sarah, whatever she's called, who might give us some.
I would like to involve that if I can.
Mm.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a lot of this.
Yeah, but more just because I like to understand more about it. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, arrange site meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just a bit concerned when thinking about this, that if we start another working party, it's going to be another meeting. And in fact, we've already got another Monday meeting. It's, if we can arrange it in a more informal way, that
Because
suits me.
it'd be nice to chat through what they mean with this idea
Yeah.
of whatever they ask about advice or works. Or I imagine the first thing they want is that bridge from the end of the boardwalk onto their land fixed.
Yeah,
And there's a really bad, is it a gate or was it a kissing gate? It's
It-
collapsed to stone.
yeah, it's collapsed that side, and then also just before you enter the wood, I can't remember what the wood's called, that's all rickety. But you see, that Podstock Meadows, they've dug a great big channel out there and they should be made to do some repair work, I think, or contribute to that. Because they've dug a huge channel out, obviously to drain all the stuff that's going to come off that hill straight into the river.
Maybe that's a good time to get Sarah Puritan. I hope that is.
Puritan.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I wrote down. But I now have a friend at Kia who I can ask.
Yeah.
Who's Sarah Puritan? Is she called Puritan?
But if you, I don't know how many names I've got off the top of my head, but if you can make sure I've got a list of everybody, I can
Cool.
get, try and get a common date and time.
Okay. Consider more areas for no May.
Yes, because the only one that we've done this May is this little section here.
Right.
Tony came eager to cut it today, he came and said, I've just come to do the grass out here. He said, I've just remembered, you're not letting me cut it for May. I was like, no, I've got to leave it. But yeah, we need to think of some other areas.
I felt guilty yesterday. So I found this, and I found this from 2 years ago.
Oh, what's that? I can't see.
It's a grass vertical cutting thing.
Oh, our grass, our very clever map, yeah.
It's got high quality things. I came up with 10 suggestions. Have we got the bee buffet signs in there?
Think so, yeah.
Have we got 10?
Do you want me to check now?
Yeah, I'm going to get them. I'm going to be my dad. My beautiful assistant. They were looking at my camera.
May. Have you been mowing the lawn now?
Have I what?
Been mowing the lawn?
I have a man that comes and does it. At my age, I'm not capable of doing it.
That's
And I've got an acre and a sit-on mower, tractor mower. And I used to do it all. It used to take me
one, eh?
with you.
Not fun.
Yes, he likes it.
We can take
But
credit.
I used to do it. Sunday mornings.
Right, that's what it's out, so
Oh, yeah.
anybody that, it's them.
Wow.
So this is one for the audience at home. So I saw these somewhere on the North Northants website, press release 2 years ago. And I started moaning, why don't we have anything nice? And it's taken me 2 years to get them, but I've now got 10 of them, well 11 apparently. And my thought was,
That took 2 years.
yeah, trust me. You can put little holes, there are holes, you put on a post or a tree or whatever it has to be. So I thought if we found 10 bits of land where we could just put them like on a strip on a verge or a little area down one side of the rack near the grass area that's growing, that's good. The really good thing about it is if people don't like it, they'll contact Northampton.
Yes. They will
And if
come
people do like it, we can say we're behind it.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So it's nice, it's exciting, and then we can tell NNC we're helping fly the flags with them as well.
Yeah, well done.
So my 10 suggestions are
I see.
2 on St Christopher's Drive,
Excellent.
one up behind the playground,
Yeah.
where we had that wildflower area previously.
Testing the,
Another one down by that area of bushes. Again, when we sort of left it, no mowing a couple of years ago, or I was told it was going to look like the Serengeti.
at the back, behind the
So
playground.
if you go into St Christopher's Drive and that big play area and turn right towards the play area, there's some bushes on the left hand side, somewhere down there. That's 2 suggestions. One is we could put one in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Just in the areas that's already growing.
Well, the cliff, we thought about sowing them right there on the cliff bit, yeah.
One in the churchyard, where they're already doing anyhow.
Yeah.
And I've asked,
Don't they do that already?
they do, because I've seen George of our lovely signs.
Yeah.
Because then also it sort of shows that we're working with them. I've got 5, 6 and 7 in the rec. One of them would be near where the grass is being grown, against that hedgerow, just
Yeah.
like a metre long strip. So it's out of the way, but nice and visible. Another one, if you go past the pocket park towards King's Road, there's that footpath.
Yep.
On the right hand side, there's an area that's already got quite a lot of cow pasture.
Yeah.
We could leave some of that, put one of those in. And the other one
What
was,
about coming into the town, the South Bridge?
we don't own anything down there.
Have we not got any I suppose we haven't done.
No, but where this could lead us is that we could start talking to Northampton about all the bits they mow for us, which I learned about on my Kia training day, which are green on the map, which is not
Yeah.
actually. So some of those, then one somewhere near a land at Wentworth Drive.
Yeah,
Again, against one of the fences, not the side we tried last year, but the other side.
Yeah.
And one at Fletton House. And, the other one would be near Springfield Gardens, that we could ask the Springfield Gardens people if they'd be happy to have
That
one.
one, yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's sort of an area we help with, but it's not ours.
Yeah.
So that would be 10.
yeah, excellent.
yeah,
Right.
And it could be that we leave them for June, and it doesn't have to be no Monday alone.
yeah,
So do you want me to put that on the list proper?
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Well done,
Excellent.
well done. Do we need to, we don't need to approve anything?
I'm just gonna put 10 areas agreed.
Excellent.
There is, okay, so next is one more on flagpole, so there's nothing for that. NSC's pollinator strategy update, councillor Clark.
Well, that's that, isn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
that is that, yeah.
2 and 1.
Trees, there is. Nothing. St. Peter's Church, nothing. Cemetery. Nothing.
There's something about the ATM.
The document, yeah,
Right.
what was it?
So it's on the other
That
document.
document, wasn't it, yeah?
That,
Yeah. So, yeah, I think basically we just you need to decide how you're gonna pitch it at the ATM.
Yes.
Because there was quite a lot to consider, wasn't there?
Yes.
Or are you just putting it out there for suggestions as well? I don't know whether it's a suggestion thing or we are doing this thing.
Is Commons doing a sort of PowerPoint for us? I know they're,
I would think so,
yeah, I
yeah.
know they're having a meeting in a week's time or so. Maybe the suggestion for us is just to put that premise on a slide, just to raise the issue which says the present cemetery has limited space and as such we will soon need to find alternatives to present arrangements. Fees in the cemetery will be held at 24, 25 levels until we resolve the best path forward. An alternative charging structure may be suggested, mirroring common systems. People might then say, what's what? And we could have 4 very simple versions of what the options might be. And
Should
say,
we see what they think at the town meeting?
well, the other option is just to leave the premise,
Yeah,
that's all we can say.
yeah,
but say our preferred, we know we're getting this, we know we're getting
I
that.
think it would be one thing we could discuss.
Do we need to put forward the information that we think we've got 4 or 5 years worth of plots?
Yeah,
think so,
can do.
Yeah, well,
Because otherwise they won't realise how important it is to
That's
make a
possibly a
decision.
cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vital bit coming to that.
Yeah,
So we could then say, we could reuse graves after 99 years, we could shorten the lease, we could stop full body burials, so at least they know what the parameters of
And
the
I think if
session
the town feels ownership of it, you know, it's really good.
So two questions. One, and then both related to Mike Wanderill, who won't be watching, so it's okay. First one is, how much is a plot? Do we know?
it depends if you're a resident or a non-resident.
If you're a resident.
Bear with. That's the documents. Cemetery fees. There you go. So for the interment, burial or interment of the cremated remains of the person over 16, £213 for a resident, 426 for a non-resident. So that's for a burial plot.
Wow, okay. How is that judged?
No, sorry, that's the internment, that's what you have to pay to put the person in the ground. To
Right,
actually purchase the plot,
Yeah.
sorry. Double grey space, 330 for a resident, 660 for non-res. For a single grey space, 260 for a resident, 520 for a non-resident.
How is that judged? How has that worked out?
I don't know, that's how it was set when I started, and it's only ever gone up in increments of like, I think about £5.
Okay.
I found some old forms, and it didn't ever go up very much, did it, Val, whenever they increased it? It wasn't,
Sorry,
they never increased it by much when they did put the cemetery fees up. From what I've seen from the old records, it was probably £5. It was a
yeah,
very small
it went a
percentage.
long time without being put
Well,
up.
we haven't done it since I think 2020 was the last time we
Oh,
spoke about
2020,
it, yeah. But the last time it went up, I think, was probably about 2019.
2019,
Yeah.
okay. So it's pretty good, yeah, okay. It's because so it comes up, so two things. One is another option for that list saying that, well, this, I guess this leads on to my second question. My father-in-law is from a village in, not that far away, but, that village bought a piece of land that is just outside the sort of village, if you like, and made another cemetery.
Yeah.
And part of the way that they did that was by raising the prices to pay for this new piece of land. Is that something that we could do? Or is there another piece of land off the top of our heads that we can think of that's purchasable in about 5 years that we could use as a cemetery?
Not on the builders, on the one. But yeah, so we could put down the bottom of the list, which we have on the back of the paper. We could find and buy a new bit of land with associated costs. We could help fund this by raising
Yeah.
fees.
Yeah.
So is there a
Another
suggestion? So then people say that's a great idea, or that's a terrible
Yeah.
idea. And someone might say, I've got a field, I'd like to sell it.
Yeah. Difficult around Alba because most of it is.
This, I did say that, I said,
Exactly.
It is underwater much
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
these days.
So if we change it to the present cemetery has limited space, and as such we'll soon need to find alternatives to the present arrangements, that could be a slide. Fees for the cemetery will be held at 24, 25, do we need to say that? Or-
You did make the decision, didn't you? at
Yeah,
last
but do we,
meeting?
you know,
You don't have
that's,
to.
that's probably quite useful information.
yeah, I would say so, yeah.
We anticipate there's maybe 4 or 5 years worth of plots in the newly cleared area, we could leave it at that. We suggested this could see the end of full body burial, so at least it's mentioned. We anticipate a cemetery extension coming in Stoke Royal end of the cemetery for the new housing development. We suggest this may be used for woodland burials, cremation only, or shorter leases to 50 years. Is that too much information, or that's good to put it out there?
I think.
Yes, there are options.
Then we say we could short leases everywhere, or just leave that. We could start with using grave sites after 99 years, but complicated, and we could find other land. So all the options could be up on a series of slides, and we could take the audience and say we're going to keep talking about this over the next few months. Feed your ideas in, or talk to us, that sort of thing.
Is there something we can we have like a poll or something like that on the website? Saying, give us your ideas, straight feedback.
We could see if people wanted that. and
Yeah.
generate it. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Cool.
Because it might not be something that necessarily they think about straight away, or they want to talk about straight away, or.
Do we know? I would have known once upon a time because I did the cemetery training, but what the prevailing preferences is these days for whole body burial or cremation.
Cremation, judging by wherever I read it recently, is by far the most popular.
Yeah.
Max.
80%, 90%, yeah. There were some stats that we brought out last
Is
year.
Cremation.
that's the most
definitely.
So I mean, in a way, it makes the getting another cemetery a bit less of a problem.
Well, it doesn't,
That's-
that's what we could say.
Somebody's going to
extension,
ask this at
cremation.
the meeting.
Yeah.
This is why.
So we could say our guidance principle is that it might be the extension is cremation only.
And it might be all we'll ever need, ish.
But I think it's better to put it out there
Yeah.
and see what people.
Oh, I think we've got to, yeah, I think we've got to.
So I just redrafted that document. Shall I send that to you and you can send on to John and Emma?
Yeah,
Is there anything to be said for, and this is probably more of a future term thing, but significantly raising the prices of for what go to say that, look, if you really, really want a full body burial, it will cost you,
I don't-
in other words, kind of taking it out of people's hands.
Well, I don't think we need to discuss it now because we've
No,
got
probably not.
something we're going to present to people anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing that we have to remember is the cost of maintaining the graves.
Yes. Yeah, no.
That's where if we make it a nice site, it's a nice bit of land, nice bit of public land for people to have. So I can change that, we could look to shorten leases to 50 years or change prices. They could be increased, and Max talked about linking it to debt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Effectively,
Yeah.
these one is cheaper or something like that. I'll let Max talk about that.
Okay. So, next, Joan Strong. Marshall and traffic warden costs 3 events on agenda for approval recommendation for council.
I couldn't hear that, sorry.
Sorry, in the properties and open spaces report it says, no, sorry, I've gone ahead, sorry, gone ahead there, don't worry.
Are we in James Strong's?
Yeah, we were, I just skipped, I didn't need to. So yeah, Joan Strong, I don't think there's anything.
No.
Right.
Markets, Warwick visited Stamford Market, which is good, and has some stall potentially interested in joining our Thursday market.
Yeah, she's got one definite,
Okay.
which is I think a sweet stall. I
Cool.
think she's got 2 potentials. But the thing she was finding that a lot of them that said they would be interested, Thursday's the wrong day for them.
Right.
So a few of them said, well, if you could change your market to a Wednesday, which obviously is not going to be doable because obviously all the ones that come on Thursday probably can't come on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, but she's going to keep trying and go into different markets and seeing if she can drum up some more interest. But I think she's got a further 2 that potentially could be coming as well. So, yeah.
Okay. Town events. Approved cost for traffic warden, no. Agreed to recommend approval of costs for marshals at the Summer Food Festival to full council.
It's over your spend.
So not rubbish.
So it's our usual gang of chaps, both the same prices. So I just need you to say yes, you want to recommend it to full council, and then I can pass them to Emma.
Do we have to approve that?
If you just say you agree.
I'm happy to approve it, for whatever I'm meant to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing I was going to say, did I send you an email today with pictures yesterday, didn't I? I went to Lincoln on Sunday and they had some really cool markets.
Oh, yes, I did, I just read that before I
So
finished it.
there's maybe something we can look at to improve
Yeah.
how we marshal in the future, not for this stuff. The other thing I was going to mention on town events, it says in the report that the bunting is going to go up on May the 18th.
No, it's going up on Sunday.
Is that
Did I say May
That would
18th?
be-
Sorry.
That would be a problem.
No,
It's fine. I think it says on or.
Yeah.
I thought I put 4.
It was on around.
Oh, yes, it is, yes, I apologise, no, it should have been up 4, the 8th.
Because I think I proposed that.
Yeah.
It was the only
you
time
paid-
I ever proposed bunting,
Yeah.
it went up on the same day as the Vintage Festival.
That's probably why
But to ruin everything,
Yeah.
for everyone, stop everyone having fun. I'm not
Yeah,
fun.
no, the licence starts on the 12th, so and Sunday, it's normally done early hours of Sunday morning when it's quiet and there's nobody running around, so it'll be done by Sunday, yeah.
That's fine. Cool.
So the next thing is approved cost for traffic wardens. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Approved cost for traffic wardens at Summer Food Festival.
Yeah, so you've got the traffic wardens for the Summer Food Festival, for the Remembrance Parade and the Christmas Market. And then you've got the marshal ones just to refer to full council. So if you just say you agree to all of them, that's fine.
Yeah, can I propose all of those?
Yeah.
I will second all of those.
I'll vote for it.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Environment and water issues, discuss conserving the Swift population information, green access.
Yeah, James contacted me again and said any progress. We had discussed, and I'd said to him to go and have a little look around, because I think Ian, you'd said you might be able to speak to the school about possible. So we've not actually chosen anywhere yet. He wanted obviously the courthouse, but obviously because that's a listed building.
Yeah.
And it would cost us money to do it. I think we agreed we were happy to provide the boxes, didn't we? But if it goes into having surveys and architect's drawings done and everything. So I just said to him, can you think of another, is there an alternative building like the QBH, although it's in conservation area, it's not a listed building, so it shouldn't be such a tricky thing, or up here, or somewhere else. We also suggested some of the new, so on West Street, apparently West Street's a prime location. So I said to him, you could approach like whoever buys Coles to develop it, because they might be happy to put something in. So I think it's just bringing it back in front of you again to say that yes, it's still something we'd quite like to support. But I suppose it's up to James to hammer out a few options before we take it any further.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go a couple of stages further,
Okay.
because there's this nature recovery group that's meeting every couple of weeks.
Okay.
They've got Nick from the Grounds and Gardens and Alice, they're putting 6 owl boxes up around town soon, and actually they're hoping that we'll be willing to let them put one in the cemetery,
Right.
and they're hoping to try and put one down in the rugby club where we know owls are, but they've got to like choose particular trees.
Right,
and owls have particular things. So they're going to come back to but I was talking about Swifts, and they got very excited because apparently someone that works for the RSPB in Bedford is like Miss Swift, Lorinda Luffman, and I've got her email address. Lorinda Luffman.
Swift, excellent.
She runs a charity called Bedfordshire Swifts.
Oh, okay.
So what she doesn't know about Swifts ain't worth knowing. So I thought it might be nice. The green team at the school are interested, but again, any school building that's got conservation issues might be a problem. But I thought it might be nice if we contacted her, see if she might be willing to come up and talk to the nature recovery group, the green team at the school, James, us, and say, that's a good building, that's a bad building, and then we get us like a swift plan.
Good idea.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm happy to email her
Great stuff. Yeah.
tomorrow.
And I can let James know that's he might even be watching.
Can I just ask, how is the QVH not a listed building? How does that work?
No one's listed it.
No one's listening.
Listing it is as random as that.
Yeah.
If someone lists it, when you look through the listed building things, buildings that built in the 1800s were listed in 1984 because someone suddenly went, actually they're listed. So they started the list, and
Okay.
actually things got added to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
as
Well, it's a
people-
conservation area as well, so there's
So it comes under the conservation area, but
Yeah.
it's still not, there's 2 houses down West Street, there's a really beautiful big house near the Oxfam shop, 2 doors up from the Oxfam shop, that belongs to one of my friends, and I've always never understood why hers has never been listed, and there's one other, I can't remember which one it is. Hers is a beautiful house, beautiful example of Oundle architecture, and yet hers isn't listed. So it's random, it is so random. It's unusual, but it is just random.
Okay. I think that's it. Streetlights, there is nothing. CCTV, there is nothing. Energy charging, unless you've got anything.
We have got a bit of an update, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
We haven't got an update.
site survey done.
Yeah.
Report to follow from Emma, who met with the contractor.
And I added it in.
I met with Rob and Tom from ECC.
Easy charge, easy.
Charge.
It's, it looks, I think
It's just not that easy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice idea.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's just, Ian chased for the report and he says he's going back to whoever
He's gonna
to chase,
chase.
which is exactly what he had to do with his last company.
Yes.
So watch this
They
space.
looked at 2 options, didn't they, apparently? One going out Benfield route,
Yeah,
which I thought wasn't a big enough charge, but and one going this one. So,
they're not sure either. That's why they asked to see the plant room, because they said we're not sure whether.
because that's where they wanted to go last time,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, so we'll see.
But they're chasing,
They're chasing.
they're easy chasing.
Okay.
Shouldn't be this hard.
So the last item, any other business report only? Ian?
Yes,
Okay.
2 items, one of which I may have mentioned it, I went to my Kia training.
Yes.
There were 7 people from Kia and 6 people from parish councils in Wellingborough Town Council's big grand room. It's very exciting, there are more of them than us, but what was interesting is I learned quite a lot, I made some nice new friends, and I've had some fun walking around town with them last week. They're very keen to be nice to Oundle and make sure Oundle doesn't get forgotten. The other interesting that came out of it was, on the back of it, I put a freedom of information request in and worked out that Oundle has 1.5% of the population of North Northants, but we generate through our business rates and our council tax 2% of the budget. So we're being slightly short change.
Interest, that is very interesting.
So it's not a very big number, but it's 1.5 versus 2, it's quite a big one. So I think we can use that as leverage to say, hey, don't forget about us. So that was interesting. And the second thing, it's not really report only, but I think where the grass area in the wreck looks a bit like a dog field.
The new bit that's been
Yeah,
received.
so if we were to make that as a permanent place that people could let their dogs off, would people like that? I'm just putting that out there.
What, leaving the fence up?
Well, putting a better fence on maybe, but yeah, because that's quite in vogue, isn't it? And I do see a lot of people letting their dogs off a little bit.
I don't think it's big enough.
Well, yeah, I've just
I'm
mentioned
not
it.
sure, yeah.
Maybe we can find the cemetery then, we can find a dog for them as well.
Yeah.
Just need to buy some.
Yeah.
We haven't got enough land. We haven't got enough estate to look after.
And lots of people walk their dogs up on me.
So a lot of people walk their dogs everywhere.
Yeah, that is prime.
Yeah, rugby hubs, prime, some on, some off.
Okay. Do you want that on the next agenda then, to discuss that possibility?
Yeah, I know what's going to happen there. They're going to read the agenda the Thursday before and go, ah! Yeah, why not, stick it
Yeah.
up. Dog feed.
The reason I say about the size is I know several dog friends, and they have big bounding dogs that are quite unruly, so they choose to go to one over Barwell, I think, or and it's quite a big space,
Yes,
so
big.
the dogs can run up and down about 3 times and that's it, they're exhausted. So if it's not a big enough space,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it'll be.
What about all those small dogs?
You're going to be asking for dog equipment soon, aren't you? Dog workout.
That's something that should come up at the town meeting.
Yeah, we'll mention cemetery and dog field at the same time.
not in the same sentence, though, please.
No,
Hello,
You can split into.
these are ways in which the land of the town is used, and that's,
Because actually,
it
yeah,
is of interest.
yeah, that area, it's sort of been out of use for a while.
Yeah.
And actually, if it meant the dogs weren't being released on the field, that'd be better overall. Anyhow,
Yeah, I'll put it on the next,
But,
No, I don't have anything.
I don't, no, I've got a question. There is in the middle of, West Street, and the other one, what's the road that's on Assumption now, is it?
New Road,
New Road.
no, New Street.
New Street, there's lots of, cones.
North Northampton's doing some work, but there was nobody there today, so we had it coned off all day
Yeah,
and nothing happened.
exactly.
actually, if you look on One Network, it's a Northport has a license for, who's the fibre people? Not B Fibre, not Gigaclear,
Oh,
the other one that messes
Yeah.
with and stuff.
Okay.
Because we've now got 3 fibre providers fighting, so from none to 3.
All dogging pothole roads up for all their,
And it's them, I think.
and that's
Oh,
West
okay.
Street.
the sign just said utility.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on OneNet, because somebody phoned me and asked what it was about, and still bear with me.
I thought
When I
it's-
looked on OneNet, I couldn't find it, all
Maybe
that
I'm
kept
wrong.
popping up was the Vintage
I think
Festival.
it's,
there's 2 One Network maps.
Oh, is there?
This is
Oh,
what I
that's
found.
helpful.
Kia found that people were reporting things to them and it wasn't coming up because they found that there were 2 One Network maps, both in the same name as Northport Heads Council.
Oh, okay, I bet I've got the wrong one then.
Well, not necessarily, they reset everything on the 1st of April, which is not April Fool's Day. It's apparently true.
I think it's New Street and West Street, isn't it?
It's just weird places, and one of them seems to say 13th to the 19th,
Yeah,
but it's not 13th or 19th today.
Yeah, because this one, is this the new one, Causeway Net, one there?
No.
This is the one that keeps.
But if you go away from today, we go into the next 2 weeks.
So that's the Vintage Festival.
When they look at the phone signal at the top there,
Here,
yeah, in North Street, well, yeah, there.
there.
Click on that, and then you get May the 13th to May the 15th. Fibre Me, that's them.
Fibre Me.
So I wonder if that's them, or whether it's nothing to do with it. But as you say, it's really not very helpful. Why
No.
did I have to stay?
But nothing, when I looked for today, let's have a look at this one here, New Street. That still says May the 13th to the 15th. What's that on there, New Street? Oh, May the 7th.
yeah, that is the sign I saw there, so yeah.
So Fibre Me.
Yeah, okay.
But then, yeah,
But it is pretty annoying when they've had the signs up, everybody's, you know, followed the rules and not parked there, and there's not a soul doing
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
all
yeah.
day.
We had
well,
many.
they were putting the cones around cars, because some of the signs say 13th to 19th. And some say that, and then there are some not around.
And then they wonder why people complain.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it, yeah. So nothing else, right, in that case, meeting's closed.
Job done.
Thank you.
7:30.
We'll have to do a formal vote of thanks to you next time.